Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Wasn't a video yesterday. Give you a reason for that in a second. So I decided to make a video tonight. Usually Thursday night is my night off, but since I didn't create a video last night, I kind of wanted to share my thoughts going into tomorrow. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for your viewership, spending 15 minutes with me on a nightly basis. All I ask, guys, in return is if I'm helping you guys out, looking at the market in a different sort of way, or trying to at least point in the right direction, all I ask is take a second out, support the channel, and click a like if you haven't If you haven't done so already, subscribe, and I will continue to help you guys out as much as possible. So let's talk about it. Let's rewind to yesterday's session. Obviously, three big earnings reports came out. IBM, which not a great quarter, right? Not a great quarter at all. IBM down 21 points, which is ironically 10 points off its lows. If you look at the Dow, did anybody even know the Dow was down 300 points today? Raise your hand if you did. I didn't. I just literally found out, 5 minutes ago. I had no idea. That's the whole point of the stock market, guys. This isn't 25 years ago that the Dow is down 300 points and everything is, going crazy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Guys, the Dow is 30 stocks. That's it. It's literally 30 stocks. Again, when you go into the supermarket, you don't buy everything into the supermarket. You buy individual things, your milk, your cheese, your bread, whatever the case may be. So it's not the stock market. It hasn't been the stock market in a very long time. It's just a market full of stocks, and the Dow down 300 points primarily on IBM's poor quarter. But if you look at the S&P, continues to grind 4.5 points, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ that was led by Google, right? Google last night came out, pretty good numbers, beat the top, beat the bottom. Pretty good guidance, pretty good cloud, pretty good AI guidance, this, that, and the third. And initially, they took the stock down, right? They took the stock down only to rally. Stock traded all the way up to 98 today pre-market, and they pretty much sold it for the rest of the day. And it really kind of goes with the theme of the stocks that are in strength. There's not a lot of juice into those strength. Again, if you trade on a day-to-day basis, kind of know what I'm talking about. Even the stocks that are very, very strong at the open, they kind of just start fading away for the rest of the day. So, but nevertheless, NASDAQ's still up roughly around 38 points. Tesla, I'll be honest with you, a little disappointing. So, as everybody knows, I got long on Tesla on the 50-day reclaim in the next 3 days. And again, that's all it was. It was a trade. Potential run-up into its earnings. It did give us a pretty good trade. Reclaim back the 50-day moving average in the 323, 324 area, traded up to 338. That was pretty much my highest sale 2 days ago. Yesterday, right before the close, maybe an hour and a half before the close, I sold my last piece at 334. So, as we talked about in the previous videos, I'm not looking to trade this thing into earnings. It's just basically a run-up. But yeah, a little disappointing. I really thought there was a shot when you reclaim back the 50-day moving average, it was going to get to into the 340s. But again, not a bad move, right? Not a bad 3-day move. So they reported earnings, right? Again, not a lot of enthusiasm. I don't think a lot of people thought they were going to beat. The question was, well, how is the market going to react if the news wasn't going to be great? And again, it was kind of the opposite of Google. Tesla, they initially took the stock down. They missed their earnings, and then they shot it up right away. 4 or 5 points right away, got rejected back on top of the 721 highs, and then the conference call started, right? Conference call started, and Elon Musk, and this is pretty much summarizes the earnings conference call. Elon basically said, we're going to see some rough times. We're going to see some rough times in the near future. Obviously, that was the word to get the hell out of Dodge. And the market started selling, as you can see here, down 27 points on the day. The weird part about this sell-off was, and again, it's not a testimony or kind of a feel of what happens next. But now that we have this, pretty pretty concrete statement, especially from the CEO. The CEO says there's gonna be rough times ahead. How can you be bullish, right? At least for the foreseeable future. But the ironic part was, and again, I'm a very big believer in option flow. We really didn't see that aggressive put buying today. I mean, we saw some 300s for the weeklies, but we didn't see like 285s, 270s, 275s. We didn't see anything. Maybe that happens in the next couple of days. But as you can see here, it lost back. It lost back at some point of the day, the 150-day EMA, and on the close, it reclaimed. Look, is it possible it gives some sort of dead cat bounce tomorrow? Sure, absolutely. But now the point is it's now well below the 50-day moving average. And if it starts losing the next day or two, or sometimes next week, if it starts losing today's channel, then you have a really good potential all the way back down to the bottom of the channel to test the recent July lows all the way down to 288, 289. But it's something that we definitely want to watch in both cases. But the point is, and I tell this to the new traders all the time, don't fall in love with the stock. For me, I trade Tesla long, I trade Tesla short. If you've been you've been with me for the last 16 plus years, or just been following on YouTube or Twitter, or whatever the case may be, I couldn't care less which way the stock trades. I have no emotional attachment to it. Don't fall in love with the stock, fall in love with the channels. And obviously now the narrative has pretty much turned the opposite way, but the game plan was go long above the 50-day moving average, try to get as much as possible into the earnings run, top to bottom. We got about a 15-point move. Not really hard, it's not really too much to complain. It was just, unfortunately, I just wanted a little bit bigger push before earnings, but that didn't happen. Other stocks that are, looking very, very good. You got Amazon, obviously next week. You got the Super Bowl of earnings. You got pretty much everybody else next week. Amazon continues to act really, really well. They're really coming in with an aggressive amount, guys, of 240 and 250 calls going into earnings. Having said that, some dude yesterday bought $600 calls on Tesla, right? Again, just because the options market is betting in that way doesn't mean the stock is going to react in that way. And so far, what we've seen on these big run-ups after earnings, stocks have been sold, right? They sold Netflix into earnings. They obviously sold Tesla into earnings. They sold IBM into earnings. The question is, what happens next week with Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta? Will get their answers obviously next week. But I want to share some, ideas with you guys going into tomorrow. Again, we just continue to melt. We really do. We continue to melt. But if you've been watching along for the last week, there's two names that I continue to be pretty negative on. And today, they both gave a pretty good pivot. Let's start off with CRWV, right? If you've been watching along for the last several days, you know that CRWV lost the 50-day moving average, and I've been talking about it now literally for the last 4 or 5 videos. The longer it builds below the 50-day moving average, the higher probability it will get hit. Well, I shorted it today below this 122 5-day range. My lowest covers were like in the 120 20s, 120, 30s area. There was a big reload buyer here at 120. I'm going to literally just share the price with you. There was a big buyer here at 120. Okay. If they can start building below 120 and the options market starts hitting it, and again, it doesn't have to be necessarily tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday. It's just a level that he kept on defending. If it starts losing 120, again, look how much room you have down. You have room all the way down to 113 and then to 109. Circle, right? Circle, the same thing. There was a pivot today below 92. We knew it was going to trade all the way down to 89. Well, not all the way, but 89. The reason why, that's the linear regression lines. You can see here, the last 3 times it held the linear regression line, it bounced. So it went down from 92 to 89. Folks, watch this 89. Again, just like CRWV, I'm literally giving you the price. This thing starts losing 89. Look how much room you have down to, down to the next support. You have 185 weekly put buyers coming in for tomorrow's expiration. So definitely keep an eye on that. I want to give you guys some names that broke out very, very aggressively. And the reason why I didn't do a video last night. I was exhausted. We had one of the more aggressive days I can remember in an incredibly long time, right? All these stocks that we've been mentioning, I've been long these stocks, Targets, remember we talked about Target a couple of days ago? Target had a $4 push, rested today, 5-day moving average bounce. Look at a name like TEM. We talked about TEM the other day as well. I still have a runner on that. This thing went yesterday from 63 to 65, put in an inside day today. We saw some good short-term $80 calls. It came back, retested the 50-day moving average and bounced on the close. So as long as it doesn't lose the 50-day moving average, it will be fine. Talk about a short squeeze yesterday. Congratulations for all you guys who caught HIMS. They were pounding, guys. They were pounding the 60 to 62.50 weeklies. This thing reclaimed back the 50-day moving average at 53. It just went nuts. Went all the way up to $59. Inside day today, it rested. Watch this thing to resume in the next couple of days. A name like CHYM. Again, you guys remember, these are names we've been talking about for nonstop. Finally broke out, right? Finally broke out. First stage, second stage. Stock went to almost 39. This is one of the very few IPOs that has not tested its IPO highs, right? Keep an eye on this thing, guys. These are all, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row of green candles, which basically means they are higher closes than opens. Let's watch this thing the next couple of days. If it could just start getting back above yesterday's channel, who knows? I mean, we did see some short-term $40 calls come in. I would love to see a $40 candle eventually in the name as well. Some other names, right? Some other names. Let me share with you guys some other names that I like potentially going into tomorrow's session. QBTS is resting, right? QBTS is resting after the breakout here. You can see here, it's resting here. All it needs to do is clear out the channel for the last 4 or 5 days to kind of wake up. And a speculative name, guys, speculative. Remember I gave you guys a speculative name a couple of days ago? It was Seed, right? You guys remember Seed? We talked about, well, it wasn't Seed. What was the symbol? Jeez, I don't even remember the symbol now. Was it Seed? No, it wasn't Seed. It wasn't Seed. It wasn't Seed. I can't remember. It was something with an S. Let me see if I have it on my notes. I don't remember. Anyway, more important. I give like a $3, $4 move. If anybody can remember from a couple of nights' videos, let me know. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm going to give you guys a speculative symbol. Look at this stock CYCC. Okay? Look at the stock CYCC. It had a massive move here into supply, got rejected. Got another massive move into supply, got rejected. Got another massive move into supply, didn't get rejected. Keep an eye on CYCC. If this thing could just get back above this whole channel here, maybe this thing wakes up tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye on that as well. So I'm definitely watching Tesla for more weakness in the next couple of days. I'm watching for HIMS for potential resumption in the next couple of days. I'm watching CRWV and Circle for potential more downside in the next couple of days. And the most important part is, again, we are prepared on both sides of the market. Guys, if you are kind of struggling your start of your career, or you're trading like the normal and you're looking at everything else that everybody else is looking at in the same time frames, at the same time, and you're just not getting anywhere, there's a reason for that, right? If you're going to trade with retail, expect to have retail results. Again, it's a very, very simplistic way to describe how the other side of the market professionals are looking, right? They're looking at the pawns as the pawns, right? There's very, very slim chance that a pawn is going to make it to the other side of the board. Well, that's what retail is. And again, all of us are retail, right? All of us are retail, but you don't have to have the retail mindset. If you are interested in pivots, guys, click the link below. Kenyon still has a really deep discount 30-day trial. If you are interested, kick the tires for 30 days, see if it's a right fit for you. Guys, God bless everybody. Hope everybody's doing well, and I'll catch you on the field tomorrow. Take care.